In 2018, while restoring a decaying colonial home in Salem, Massachusetts, a construction crew broke into a crawl space sealed since the 1700s. Inside, they found brittle furniture, rotted linens, and a curious object, a leather-bound book with a Blackwell family crest burned into its cover. Most would have ignored it as just another artifact of Puritan New England, but this book contained a ledger, and in it, names, dates, land deeds, and beside many of those names, a chilling phrase, acquisition complete. This was no family Bible. It was an execution record, a map of corruption, a blueprint for greed masked as justice, and all of it tied to one of the most feared periods in American history, the Salem witch trials. We are taught that 19 innocent people were executed in 1692 due to mass hysteria and religious paranoia. But this book, and another, written in secret by a teenage girl named Mercy Blackwell, tells a much darker story. The official records of the trials speak of witches. These private records speak of land grabs, targeted killings, and a systematic effort to eliminate anyone who opposed the Blackwells' rise to power. The trials, it seems, were never about witches. They were about wealth, control, and silence. The Blackwells were not just any family. They were Salem's trinity of power. Judge Ezekiel Blackwell presided over trials. His brother, Reverend Nathaniel Blackwell, condemned the accused from the pulpit, and their youngest brother, Sheriff Josiah Blackwell, carried out the sentences. Together, they controlled law, religion, and punishment, a perfect storm in a town already consumed by fear. But it was the quiet observations of Mercy Blackwell, their niece, that would one day expose the horrors they concealed. Mercy was just 16 when the accusations began. Bookish, observant, and dismissed by her family as merely curious, she was the ideal invisible witness. She helped manage church records and transcribe her uncle's trial notes, unknowingly copying false testimonies, rigged confessions, and forged land transfer documents. At first, she thought nothing of it, but soon she noticed a chilling pattern. Nearly every accused which owned land near Blackwell property or had recently refused to sell it. Her suspicions deepened when she overheard a conversation one night between Judge Ezekiel and Sheriff Josiah. "Once Corwin is gone, we'll own the river," one of them whispered. The next day, a poppet was found under Thomas Corwin's floorboards. A week later, he was hanged. His land, fertile, river-fed, and strategically placed, was seized by the Blackwells under the guise of church redistribution. It wasn't about faith. It was real estate murder. Mercy began documenting everything. In a hidden notebook tucked beneath her mattress, she listed names of the accused, mapped their properties, and recorded each trial's outcome. What emerged was horrifying. Over 40 individuals were convicted through manipulated evidence. Some, she suspected, weren't even given trials, simply taken in the night and never seen again. Whispers in town spoke of secret dungeons beneath the church. Screams were heard at night. No one questioned it. Fear silenced them all. One night, Mercy confided in her cousin William Blackwell, Josiah's son. To her surprise, he revealed he, too, had seen things. His father burying a woman in the marshes, a man chained in the cellar. Disgusted by what his family had become, William offered to help. They devised a plan. Mercy would gather her secret notes, and William would create a distraction. She would escape to Boston and deliver everything to Governor William Phipps. But as history shows, nothing involving the Blackwells was ever that simple. On October 18th, 1692, as fire consumed an abandoned barn on Salem's edge, Mercy slipped into the forest. Her cloak, lined with documents, was heavy with evidence. She never made it to Boston. That night, the Blackwells stormed her home. "You stand accused of witchcraft," Sheriff Josiah growled. And behind him stood William, eyes empty, lips sealed. Betrayal. Mercy was locked in the cellar beneath the church, the same place where so many had vanished. But fate had one last move to play. Just 11 days later, Governor Phipps, alarmed by an anonymous letter signed only MB, arrived in Salem unannounced. He ordered a halt to the trials and searched the court's records. The Blackwell's ledgers had been burned. Their homes emptied. The brothers had disappeared. Some claimed they fled south. Others whispered they never left, simply changed names, changed towns, and started over. In 1720, during renovations of Salem's old meeting house, a hidden chamber was found behind the altar. Inside, shackles, a rotting table stained dark, and a single journal wrapped in waxcloth. It was Mercy's. The final page reads, "They tried to silence me, but William returned. He brought the governor, too late for some, but not for all. Let this truth remain, even if I do not." There was no record of her execution, no burial plot. Some believe she escaped. Others say she vanished like the rest. But one thing is clear, the journal survived, and so did the truth. The Salem witch trials are remembered as a cautionary tale of religious madness. But what if there was something far worse? Not a mass delusion, but a mass cover-up. Not hysteria, but strategy. The Blackwell family used faith as a weapon, law as a tool, fear as a currency. And in doing so, they rewrote the town's history to bury their crimes. And maybe, just maybe, this wasn't unique to Salem. Maybe it's just the one place where someone dared to write it all down. If you believe stories like this should never be forgotten, like, comment, and share this tale. Because sometimes the real devils aren't the ones we burn. They're the ones who light the fire.